Drama explodes on General Hospital as secrets unravel and loyalties are tested. Kristina shocks everyone by choosing Shadybrook, possibly shutting down Ava's blackmail threat once and for all. On Friday's episode, Drew takes control and blocks Willow from visiting the clinic with Michael. But could this bold move be his biggest mistake yet? Viewers are fuming as Lulu tests everyone's patience, while Tracy finally voices the exact thoughts fans have been shouting at their screens. Meanwhile, Carly makes a disturbing discovery in Sunny's room that could change everything. Tensions boil over when Kristina unleashes her fury on Alexis, igniting a family showdown. The stakes skyrocket as Willow's return trip turns into a disaster following a plane crash. Putting custody of the kids in jeopardy, is Drew about to take over? And just when emotions are at their peak, Sasha delivers 6 powerful words to Jason that could mark the beginning of a real love story. With secrets, betrayals, and bombshells dropping fast, next week promises to shake Port Charles to its core. Don't miss a single shocking twist. Everything is about to change, and no one is safe. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. After watching these videos, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital. Does Kristina's decision to go with Shadybrook end Ava's blackmail? Kristina Corinthos Davis experiences a severe shock on General Hospital, which is directly related to her grudge toward Ava Jerome and the ongoing blackmail. Additionally, when Kristina was aiming for Ava Jerome, she had the option to pay a hefty price for her crime against Elizabeth Weber and Rick Lansing. We'll discuss how and why Kristina might truly commit to Shadybrook in order to thwart Ava's blackmail. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt. General Hospital spoilers. The repercussions of Molly's discovery. For some reason, Diane Miller seems to have forgotten that Alexis Davis and Molly Lansing Davis share a last name. After writing Davis on the envelope containing the commitment papers, she naturally dropped it. The commitment documents Diane created for Alexis to have Kristina committed against her are now in Molly's possession. You recall that Alexis had a change of heart. She insisted that Diane destroy the legal documents, but she didn't. Molly is holding them now after Marco noticed them. She will undoubtedly visit Diane, the attorney who drew them up. Spoilers for General Hospital. Molly is appalled, however, that Kristina is the one who should be imprisoned at Shadybrook, and that Alexis is the one who unintentionally commits her sister. Naturally, Molly will be appalled because she finds this completely nonsensical. When she discovers the documents, she will fill in Cody Bell, who is present. Molly will then flee in an attempt to learn more about what is going on and why Kristina is being singled out in this way. She will undoubtedly be in protective mode at first, acting as though her sibling is being harmed. She doesn't know. May brings drama. Molly brings up startling information with Kristina. As we get into the actual May sweeps next week, there are a few things we believe will happen with this twisted plot. Initially, it appears like Molly grabs the documents and rushes to Kristina because she likely believes she has a right to know and wants to keep her safe. According to General Hospital teasers for this week's end, Kristina will receive a surprise. We watch as she examines a document and asks herself, "What the hell?" Naturally, both she and Molly will be perplexed by the situation. Why would Alexis force Kristina to commit suicide? However, you would think Molly's sister would have some sort of notion. Kristina may have a clue. I wonder whether Mom is aware. Alexis's secret blackmail, keeping Kristina out of prison. Molly and Kristina will then get in touch with either Diane or Alexis, or both, as their names appear on this strange document that Molly discovered and finds incomprehensible. Additionally, I assume that Alexis will want to speak with Kristina in private if they confront her. Alexis is attempting to keep Molly from being enraged with her sister in addition to keeping Kristina out of jail. However, that still comes down to keeping Kristina safe. Since Ava has evidence that she broke the brake lines on Rick's car because she believed it to be hers, I do anticipate that Alexis will inform Kristina that she is being blackmailed. This is particularly significant since, as Alexis recently advised Kristina, you have to let go of your grudge against Ava. However, this should only exacerbate that animosity. Spoilers for General Hospital, the ideal strategy. From there, Alexis would most likely explain that, should Ava decide to turn her in to the police, committing her was a part of a legal plan that she and Diane were negotiating to keep her out of jail. Because, as you may recall, Alexis first declined to pay the blackmail. Okay, then let's commit her, and then we'll shut Ava down and hopefully avoid her, going to Pentonville, Diane said. Kristina's predicament, prison or Shady Brook. You can thus expect that the fact that Alexis has purchased Ava's quiet will infuriate Kristina. Even worse, she is stealing in order to accomplish it. In essence, Alexis is now criminal as a result of Kristina's criminal disaster. Ultimately, Kristina not only wants to stay out of jail, as is evident, but she also doesn't want Ava to receive the money that she so urgently needs. Naturally, at the conclusion of this week, Alexis will also have to deal with Ava's threat to demand more money. She desires more and more quickly. Therefore, I think Molly's mother will already be at the end of her rope with Ava by the time she speaks to Alexis. Diane might step in and explain to Kristina the entire legal process and why Shady Brook is the greatest option to keep her out of jail for almost killing Rick and Elizabeth. If that was the intention, she would also likely face a third charge for attempting to kill Ava. Therefore, before criminal charges are brought, Kristina might consent to be committed in your presence. Legal deadlock, Alexis' embezzlement versus Ava's blackmail. By the way, Ava and Alexis are somewhat at a standstill in their court battle about what they can do to one another. Therefore, Ava's use of blackmail against Alexis is strictly prohibited. Ava is committing a crime then. Additionally, it would be lawful for Alexis to pay the blackmail using her own funds. Paying blackmail is completely lawful. The issue is that Alexis is using Ace Cassidy's trust fund as a source of funding. Thus, Alexis is in legal deep doo-doo as well. Ava can't go to the police since she is now breaking the law, so she really can't press charges because Alexis might say, "All right, we're just going to go down for this." Spoilers for General Hospital. Does Ava draw a line? However, Rick can, particularly if Alexis tries to defraud him or stops the money train. Additionally, I have no doubt that Diane and Kristina will urge that Alexis cease paying her. Ava will most likely get away with the blackmail in the end. She usually escapes punishment for the majority of her offenses. However, since she is so incredibly poor, she would still be denied the opportunity to receive future rewards, which is a punishment in and of itself. Additionally, if Kristina and Alexis tell Sonny Corinthos about the blackmail, he might attack Ava. Let's face it though, I expect Ava to retort that his insane daughter attempted to kill her even if Sonny confronts her. She wouldn't be mistaken in that regard. Kristina's three options. A battle of the soap opera. Kristina ultimately has three options. First and foremost, allow Alexis to keep giving Ava the money as blackmail. Second, admit the crime to the police and accept the years of imprisonment she will receive for committing it. Thirdly, while Diane performs her legal killer Miller magic, get checked into Shady Brook. Naturally, Molly will discover that Kristina attempted to kill Ava, but nearly killed Rick instead as a result of all of this coming to light. Family disagreement. Who discloses Kristina's horrible secret? It's a big, crucial question. Who breaks the terrible news to Molly? The best course of action is for Kristina to do it and ask for forgiveness since, although it's not the worst thing, it would be terrible if Molly heard it from her or Alexis. However, Rick might understand that the blackmail ploy is over and decide to tell Molly the truth and leave. If she tells him that her mother prepared documents to commit Kristina, he was almost slain by Kristina. As we all know, Rick wants to let Molly know that he didn't want to be involved in this blackmail. All Ava and Rick could honestly say was that he wanted to call the police because Kristina is obviously a threat to society and needs assistance. However, he can argue that Alexis and Ava persuaded him to let them work things out amongst themselves. He has the ability to play the victim, This is, after all, Rick. However, it won't be long before Molly is upset with everyone. Rick, Ava, Kristina, and Alexis as well. Molly may therefore leave Kristina because she was reckless, destructive, and on the verge of committing 2 murders. In essence, the infant died as a result of Kristina's most recent reckless and damaging action. Molly might have lost her father as a result of this. Their sisterly connection will therefore suffer greatly as a result of this. Additionally, Molly might abandon Alexis for once again supporting and assisting Kristina. Additionally, if Alexis persuades their daughter that Rick was lying to her for her own selfish motives, Molly might also leave Rick. Shady Brook Countdown. Will Kristina make a commitment? We are now essentially on a countdown to see if Kristina prepares to leave for Shady Brook in order to avoid going to Pentonville prison and her mother having to pay extortion. Those appear to be the 2 most likely possibilities, unless they can figure out how to stop Ava without continuing the money train. The next update for today. Recap of General Hospital Friday, April 25. Drew prevents Willow from visiting Michael at the clinic. When Drew Kane bribed a staff member to fabricate information regarding Michael Corinthos' desires, he prevented Willow Corinthos from visiting the clinic, according to the General Hospital recap for Friday, April 25. Let's discuss how the fantastic episode from Friday unfolded. After her collision with Diane Miller, Molly Lansing Davis at GH recognized that the paperwork she had to have Kristina Corinthos Davis committed must have ended up in her luggage. Molly left her sister speechless when she showed the documents to Kristina at Carly Spencer's house, since she felt she had to tell her straight now. When Alexis Davis pretended everything was oak, Kristina saw that the date on the paperwork coincided with their movie night. While Kristina and Molly went to confront Alexis, Cody Bell ended up watching Donna Corinthos. After interrupting Alexis' conversation with Marco Rios at the law office, Ava Jerome discreetly pushed Alexis to advance the payment schedule by an additional $150,000. Ava resisted Alexis's argument that transferring large sums of money too soon was a simple way to get detected. Alexis made the internet money transfer as soon as Ava left, just before Molly and Kristina stormed in demanding explanations. Since the perpetrator of the penthouse attack had not been apprehended, Brick discussed with Carly the possibility of having a security team keep watch over the hospital in Los Angeles. The doctor informed Carly that Sonny Corinthos' surgery went well and that she could see him after he was comfortable in his room. A suspicious nurse, however, had other ideas and sneaked into Sonny's room, carrying a syringe filled with a sinister substance. Sonny's eyes widened as this woman got ready to inject him. Dante Falconeri discovered Lulu Spencer fighting with Brooklyn Quartermain at her house. Brooklyn was upset over the adoption narrative and Lulu's obsession with the baby cover-up. Since Brooklyn was preparing to adopt a child with Harrison Chase, she pretended that the problem was too personal. According to Lulu, Chase and Brooklyn might gain some knowledge regarding the adoption procedure from the article. Furthermore, Lulu refused to back down from the accepted pitch because she was working to resurrect her journalism career. During their strategy session at Crimson, Nina Reeves and Portia Robinson learned that the objective was to drug Drew and set him up for a sexual encounter with Jacinda the prostitute. Willow would return home to find Drew in bed with Jacinda, Nina said. In order to give Portia the advantage, Nina also proposed that they obtain photographic proof. Jacinda believed Portia and Nina wanted her services for themselves after she arrived for the meeting. Nina clarified that although it would involve pictures, they were recruiting Jacinda for another task that wouldn't even involve having Dot. Jacinda was hesitant to set up a congressman and was afraid she might die, but Nina and Portia predicted that everything would work out just fine. Nevertheless, Jacinda claimed she would seek $6,000 more than her usual rate. Willow introduced herself to the woman at the front desk in Baden-Baden and explained that she was come to visit her husband, Michael. Sadly, Willow was sent away by the clinic staff member, who said Michael had no interest in interacting with her. Willow objected, saying it was about the children, but the woman didn't think it would matter because Michael's desires were obvious. Willow said she will fly home tomorrow morning after calling Nana to mourn about the way things turned out. After deciding to give Jacinda the sum she desired, Nina declared that they had reached an agreement. Drew called the clinic employee after meeting with Jordan Ashford and Jen Sidwell to plot against Sunny's region. As directed by Drew, the front desk employee insisted on lying to Willow and claiming that Michael didn't want to see her. Drew told the woman that her payment was on its way because he was happy that the task was completed. The next update for today. Drew gets the kids after Willow's plane crash and return trip disaster. According to General Hospital spoilers, Willow Corinthos may be involved in an aircraft accident after visiting Michael Corinthos' Baden-Baden clinic. Will Drew Kane end up with the children if the return trip goes horribly wrong? Willow recently signed the documents designating Drew as Wiley Corinthos' and Amelia Corinthos' legal guardian in the event of her death. The idea that Willow would suffer a terrible destiny or become handicapped has received a lot of attention, so GH writers must be taking this seriously. All indications suggest that Willow may not be able to look after the children while Michael is still healing. Let's think about how this might work out, as Drew might end up acting as Wiley and Amelia's legal guardian. Willow's flight to Germany will arrive without any issues because we know she makes it to the clinic in the episode that airs on April 25. On the way back, though, there is undoubtedly a chance of catastrophe. Willow's attempt to see Michael appears to be less successful than she had planned. It is conceivable that Carly Spencer or Drew, in particular, could ruin this visit by manipulating the clinic's back office. Willow's situation can worsen as she boards her flight home. Could the next chapter of the plot begin with Willow's plane crashing? There may be some startling news about the plane disappearing and the search being launched. Eventually, the wreckage might be located, but what would happen to Willow? They are under no obligation to kill Willow if the plot takes this turn. After a plane disaster, Drew was thought dead, but he was later found to be alive. However, at first glance, it can be thought that Willow is permanently gone. However, she might be recovered from the wreckage with severe injuries. In any case, the authors may have chosen to have Willow travel all the way to visit Michael rather than just pick up the phone because of this plane drama. Don't miss what's next up for Willow, as GH fans have been making some anxious guesses. The next update for today. When Sasha says these 6 heartfelt words to Jason, does a true love story start? According to General Hospital spoilers, a genuine love story could start when Sasha Gilmore Corbin says 6 heartfelt words to Jason Morgan. Given the likelihood that Jason and Sasha will develop a love relationship, let's think about the possible outcomes. At first, Sasha objected to Jason taking care of her while Michael Corinthos was away, but she has since learned to value his assistance in many ways. Sasha seems sincerely happy to have Jason accompany her when he arrived for her most recent scan. We see the potential for a lovely family here because Sasha and Jason have had many intimate times together because of this phony baby daddy issue. This is particularly true given that Sasha and Danny Morgan have been growing closer. At some point, Jason, Danny, Sasha, and her child might all be able to get together as a family. Naturally, Sasha and Jason just had a rough patch after he learned of her lucrative contract with Jen Sidwell. But Jason's worries are motivated by compassion, which further strengthens the idea that his relationship with Sasha may eventually develop into a romantic one. Perhaps Sasha is the one who finally steers her and Jason's plot toward romance. "I have real feelings for you" is one of the 6 sentimental things Sasha might say to Jason. If this continues, what began as a solution for a funny father could become a very real love story. Will Sasha eventually admit that she fell in love with Jason and hope he feels the same way? Naturally, Michael's reappearance might cause a stir and ultimately complicate matters. A Michael recast would wish to pick up his child once he returns to Port Charles. Everything Jason and Sasha have been working on in the last few months could be ruined by that, but they could still work things out. In any case, many fans have been speculating about the next phase of Sasha and Jason's romance. Keep checking back for more on Jason and Sasha's possible future together, as the GH writers have been hinting at this possibility. Thanks for watching this videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news.